fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the Battle Cycle with Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem line from Playmates Toys. So as you can see, it includes exclusive Raph with helmet. That's right, safety first. So there are two ways to battle. The sidecar can kind of hang out on the side, or it can swivel around to the back, I guess, for reasons. Packaging pretty standard. We have that kind of purple brick motif. We have that group shot of the turtles over here. Not too much going on the top or the side, really, for that matter. All these toys have this big white sticker on the side, which I think is kind of interesting. Not really sure what that's about. Again, just showing you how the sidecar can shift around to the back. And then we have a little cross-sell of some of the other things available in this line. So we have the 4 turtles and Splinter. We have the 4 villains. We have the Ninja Kick Cycle with Leonardo. I'm still on the fence if I want that one or not. It's got some kind of feature where I guess he holds on to the handlebars and they spin around. I'm not a huge fan of gimmicks like that. Also, there is the Pizza Fire van. But this whole pizza thrower gimmick is like 90% of the entire vehicle. I don't even know if characters can fit inside when that's closed in there. So I hate when they have like the gimmick of the turtle van vehicle take up the entire area of, like, it basically becomes the only feature of the toy, and I'm not a huge fan of that, so probably not going to get that unless there's a sale or something. But I wanted to get one vehicle, and I thought this one looked pretty cool, and the kind of motorcycle with the trash can sidecar, very reminiscent of a motorcycle release from the original series back in the 80s that I never had as a kid, but I always thought looked kind of cool. So I just thought that was kind of neat, a little bit of retro feels there. So I'm going to go ahead, get everything out of the packaging here, and we will take a closer look. Alright, so here's everything you get in the box. I've already attached all the accessories to the motorcycle here, but I'm going to put the motorcycle off to the side for just a moment so we can take a quick look at this exclusive Raph with helmet action figure. It's pretty much exactly the same as the normal Raph, so we'll do a comparison here, side by side. As you can see, pretty much the same. It's really just a different head, as far as I can tell. The belt is slightly different. You can kind of see that the R on the belt buckle is smaller over here, and the brown pouch is a slightly lighter shade of brown on the helmeted version. Otherwise, I would say they're pretty much identical. I really don't think there's anything major going on here. So since the head's on a ball joint, they just made a new head and popped it on. But still cool. The helmet is not removable. As far as I can tell, it looks to be solidly part of the head. And he does have a different expression than this Raphael. You can see we have kind of, gritted teeth showing on both sides. Here, just on the one side, kind of closed mouth over here. So definitely a different head sculpt, but otherwise I would say pretty much the exact same figure. So if we bring the bike back in here, you can see it does come with 2 Sai, and they actually have these cool little clips on the side of the bike that you can slide them into, which I think is kind of cool. Little weapon storage there on the bike. But I believe these to be pretty much exactly the same, with the exception of the lighter shade of brown. But I believe they are the same weapon. Look to be pretty identical. Just painted a lighter shade of brown there. But the nice thing is, if you remember from the original release of Raph, the 2 Sai are slightly different. You kind of have this like pattern here. So if you wanted to have, 2 with the same pattern, you could. Now they would have different colored handles. One would be lighter brown and one would be darker brown. But if for some reason you wanted to have, a Raph with 2 of the Sai with this patterning, you could mix and match them. But the handles would be 2 different shades. Now he can hold these just like the other Raph can hold his. So we'll pop these in the hand here and then slide that around. And of course they can fit into the loops on the belt. This figure has those as well. So not bad. I mean, it's 90% the same Raph you probably already have. This one's just got a different head sculpt, but it would have been neat if they could have given him some kind of, like, I don't know, different, maybe color the pads different colors, or give him some kind of, like, stunt jumpsuit. Or I know that's a lot to ask for, because it would have to be kind of some major retooling, but I feel like they could have at least maybe colored, maybe put some stripes on the pads or something to match the helmet. I don't know, just kind of making stuff up here. But yeah, he's a cool little dude. So we'll put him off to the side for a moment so we can check out the motorcycle here with the sidecar. I'm sorry, the battle cycle. Let's get the name correct. But yeah, this thing's actually pretty cool. Like I said, it has the little holsters here for the Psy on the side. I like that. Overall, I like the color scheme. Mine has a bit of a paint scuff here on the side. I can probably fix that. But I like the green and red stripes there. That's pretty cool. You have some nice detail and paint applications kind of all around this area. The headlight is painted white. You've even got some gold here on the wheel. Got the light on the back painted. You have kind of a little handlebar here, so if you have this in the other configuration, they can hold on. Or if you really just wanted to, you could probably even have a third turtle hold on back here. I'll try that out a little bit later. But then it also comes with this third weapon. You have a little nunchuck that you're supposed to clip into this part of the wheel, so as it rolls around, it would, I guess, whack enemies, which is kind of funny. How this gimmick works, it starts out, and this is kind of tight, but it starts out, you can see how this comes around and clips into that, so it's very solid if you want to have it on the back. If you want to bring it around, this is how it is in the packaging. If you want to bring it around to the front or the side, you just kind of undo that. It'll come to here. This joint's kind of weird. It almost made me think it was spring-loaded or something, but I didn't see any instructions or any buttons or anything. Once you kind of get it to a point, it'll kind of flip the other way. So you can see how it kind of flips in there. So I guess that's just for stability, so it doesn't get floppy over time, which I appreciate. And then you want to kind of bring this up, and this clip on the side will clip in here, and then that keeps it in place. So it's really nice. It's honestly really solid in both configurations. It has something to clip onto to solidify the positioning, and I think that's really cool. I like that a lot. Again, we have some nice paint detail up here for this little side light. I think these are stickers because they're already kind of peeling a little bit. Yeah, those are stickers, I believe. But everything else is pretty much painted. You even have a little bit of paint down here on these cables in this little section here. It's pretty nice. I like it a lot. Rolls very well. Let's see if we flip this back around to the back. Rolls pretty well in this configuration as well. I think it looks cooler with this on the side, but I think it's neat that you can kind of move it around. Maybe during battle they can kind of reconfigure. It kind of just makes me think of like in Batman Returns when he had to go down the weird alley and he had to like break apart half of the Batmobile to be, you know, very thin. You could do something like that if they're coming to like a tight alleyway. They could swivel this around to the back and then go through the tight alleyway. But yeah, this is pretty cool. So popping a turtle on here. The one thing I am going to complain about, it's very minor, but these figures have these really nice peg holes on the bottom of their feet. I wish there were some pegs on here. I wish there was like one peg to keep him in the sidecar and maybe like one peg down here. I mean, I will say they fit on pretty nicely. And even without attaching them in any way, they don't really go anywhere. It's pretty easy to go ahead and just pop one of their hands at least onto the handlebar, and then that's not really going to be an issue. You can, of course, bring them both in, but it's a little bit more difficult. I kind of like to just do one for stability and then maybe have him hold the weapon in the other, something like that. But yeah, once he's on there, I mean, he's not really going anywhere, which is nice. I can't really say the same about the sidecar. I'm going to go ahead and bring Michelangelo in. I'm going to kind of put his legs together as much as I can. And I'm going to kind of turn the feet in towards each other so that he can fit in here. Now there is kind of like a lip, as you can see, this piece of plastic here. So I want to try to wedge him in there. But he's naturally going to kind of be like back heavy and want to fall out. So I almost kind of wish that this had a back to it. That way, kind of like once I got him in, he wouldn't fall out. It's not terrible. I mean, honestly, if you position him right, you know, he's in there. He's not, but see, he kind of falls out. So I wish there was a peg in there. All they would have had to do, put one little peg in there. He would stay in. You know, if I could just peg, even just 1 foot. I don't expect both. Just 1 foot. If I could peg it in, I feel like he really wouldn't go anywhere. And I mean, you know, just kind of driving along. But like if I shake it wildly, he's going to come right out. But just kind of driving along, it's not a big deal. And honestly, I could position it so that he's grabbing on to one of these handles. If I wanted to take one of his weapons out, I could try to have him grab onto this. It's kind of in an awkward spot, though. So I'd have to kind of put this up, maybe bring this down. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I could do it, but you'd really have to move the hand around awkwardly to get him to grab onto that. So I just wish there were some pegs. That's really it. I wish there were some pegs to peg into the feet, because then it would really keep them in place and there'd be no problem. Holding onto the handlebars up here, I don't have an issue with Raph, really. It's mostly just the sidecar. So you just kind of have to be a little careful with it so that he's not falling out every 10 seconds. But he will kind of friction in there. Now, again, we have this clip here. Let me see if I can grab maybe Donatello. We'll see if maybe a third guy can hang out here on the back. I mean, kind of, but there's not much. If there was just like a little platform here, you could probably put a third turtle here on the back. I'm sure I could probably position his feet. Let me see if I have his feet kick up a little bit, maybe. Something like this. It gets a little weird, but I think you could probably do it. There you go. He's holding on for dear life. But there you go. We got 3 turtles on. That's pretty cool. Obviously, if you move this around to the back, then you could have the turtle in the sidecar hold on to this, and then you probably have no issue whatsoever. But yeah, you can kind of get 3 turtles on one motorcycle. I can't complain with that. That's pretty great. So it's a fun little... Oh, there he goes. Let's see what happens if we move this around to the back and clip this in. And then we'll pop one of these onto his back here. Like this. And like this. And also shout out to, I forget who it was, I apologize, but someone in the comments of the video I did for the turtles told me to put the nunchucks in here like this. And they're 100% correct. It definitely helps. It helps to be able to store them by skipping one and popping them in like so. So that's really cool. So if we pop him in here like this, and then he kind of grabs onto this, that would probably help. Yeah, so if he's in the back and you can have him grab on there, that's going to help a lot, because now he's not really going anywhere. So doesn't have anything to grab onto when it's on the side, but when it's in the back, you can definitely grab onto that handle, and then you really shouldn't have an issue. But again, just kind of wish they had pegs for the feet in 1 or 2 little spots. So at the end of the day, I think this is a really fun release. I like having a little vehicle for the turtles. If you don't really want to spring for like the full-on pizza van, you have something a little, you know, accessible here. This set was, I think, $25. I think the pizza van is $40. And as you saw, you can kind of fit 3 turtles on this thing with some effort. So I think that's kind of cool. Even if you just want to use it for 1 or 2, I still think it's neat to kind of have like a little side vehicle if you don't really want to spring for the full-on pizza van. But I also really like the nostalgic feel to it. Like I said, a motorcycle with a trash can sidecar is definitely something they did back in the 80s. So I love that kind of retro feel to it. And also it just looks good. A lot of nice paint applications. I like how you can kind of swivel that around to the back. You have 2 configurations for that, which is nice. Also, you get a Raph variant. Not much of a Raph variant. It's really just a new head. But he does come with the weapons and everything. So if you weren't able to find the individual Raph release, you know, this is a full-on Raphael figure. It comes with his accessories and everything. So pretty, you know, doesn't have the weapons rack or the baby turtle, but, you know, you're pretty much there. So it's a nice release. I think, like I said, this was $25. So if you feel like the figure's about $10, you're paying $15 for the motorcycle, I think that's pretty fair, especially with the amount of paint applications and everything that was put into this. I like it a lot. I really do. I think this one's cool. Like I said, I haven't tried out the other motorcycle. Not sure if I'm going to. Out of the two, this was the one that definitely appealed to me more. So I decided to grab this one. But yeah, really cool. I like it a lot. Definitely recommend it, especially if you have some of the other turtles that you can go ahead and put on here. I also really like that it has the little holders for the Sai, because they're really not necessary, because obviously he could just wear them how he has them on his belt, but it's cool. I like it. I like extra weapon storage. I'm always a fan of that, so I think that's really fun. And then the little nunchuck here to kind of knock enemies out as you drive along, I think is really funny as well. So it's a good time. I like this one a lot. Definitely recommend checking it out. I got mine at Target. I think they're also available on Amazon. I'm not sure if stuff's available at Walmart. I went to a Walmart today and they had nothing. So I don't know if Target has like first exclusive crack at this stuff and then it's going to come out at Walmart later. Not 100% sure. But yeah, it's a good time. Definitely check it out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, thanks so much for watching.